the $231,000. We knew exactly what would be swept to operations. I'm awaiting the DLGF's additional appropriation. They haven't gotten back to me. They sent a letter and told us why. They just were kind of backed up, and I guess they don't start some things until March. So we'll know later this month. So everything's right on track there. But one of the board members was just talking about, 10 years ago, before tax caps, what was reality like? And I just wanted to share a couple numbers with you to put it into perspective. And then I'll provide you with the 10-year or 11-year background plan. Let me click something here.
And while Tom does that, just so you know, the April board meeting, we'll update you on EDM. We're down about 25 kids there, and you asked that question. But traditionally, we're down 100+ kids at this time of year. So we're trending well. We'll move those kids forward, give you an idea. We'll also give you an update on our budget reduction. As Tom has talked about, right on target. We were targeting saving $1.1 million. We are right on target. We had another teacher resign today, effective into next year. One retirement. So we'll continue to battle this and go after it through attrition. And we'll have plan A, B, and C as we go forward. But we'll present a more comprehensive and April work session on where we are from on that side of the budget.
So just to give you perspective, when I started in 08 and 07, we had a $521 million value of property. We had a $1.83 tax rate, 1.8324, which net value in 2007 was $9,547,000. The next year, we had a $1.81. 2008 was my first year, January 1. In this position, we had a 1.81 tax rate, which net $8.9 million. Since tax caps went into effect in 2009, we didn't have a loss because that first year they gave us a credit. It was to help us through the bumps of the road. However, since 2009 to today, the local taxpayer has had the $1.35 referendum, 1.35. No matter where we advertise the $2. So 2010, 2009, 10, all the way to today, we have net after the loss, 6.7, 5.9 in 2010, 6.8, 6.4, 6 million in a very difficult year in 2013, 6.7, $6.3 million. So we are sticking at a net revenue, and that's with the referendum in there. But the tax rate is 53 cents less. 53 cents less than it was in 2007.
So
It's
you're saying
interesting.
9.5 million to 6.3. So we're essentially collecting only 2/3 of what we did 10 years ago.
And that's with the referendum. If we didn't have the $1.4 million
Right.
referendum, our 6.3 would be 4.9.
Plus, Tom, you have the construction referendum on top of that, too.
Right.
Oh,
Take that
yeah. So
away.
there's another $675,000.
So we didn't grow any at all for inflation or just,
No,
better
we
values.
are
It's done nothing but go down.
$3.2 million in net revenue for operations, buildings, construction, mowing the lawn, pushing snow, and all of our operations people. We are $3.24 million less today than our corporation was running at in 2007.
We've no less buildings, we've no less facilities.
No, and energy, electricity is absolutely twice as high today as it was in 07, twice. The technology, that's why we have the common school loans for technology. That's why we are working with low interest. That's why we restructure. We're just working all kinds of ways. So I'm very proud. Actually, that's a great thing for us to get a phone call back in July, upgrading us from being, I don't even know what we were labeled, kind of like the watch list, right? To being stable. We were downgraded 2 years ago in 13 when we had a lower revenue day. And so we were brought back to stable. So that is a pretty comprehensive business update, because I just want to keep you aware, we don't keep cash balances. We're doing our best. We do have $300,000 in rainy day, and that's probably really, really important now that we see what happened with the pool ceiling. It fell in, tiles went into the pool. We're working just to keep up. But it's good. It's really good. Our cash balances at the end of the year were good, and we can pay our bills, and we're right on target with our plans. Okay?
Let
As
me
far as
try to
operations.
put that in perspective. First of all, Tom and I met this morning and talked about this. We went back and researched from '07, I think, or way up, '07.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
We've got copies of all that. So we'll present you a more comprehensive detail to this so you can see this at the April board meeting. So let's transition this to taxpayers, okay? Those were all tax dollars, $9 million worth back in '07. So now we're about to talk to you guys about a referendum. We believe even after the referendum, when we win in September, our patrons will still be paying less than they were back in those days. You know, now there's a lot of factors that go into, that's why we have our financial team to help us with that. But as far as the overall amount of taxes we're bringing in, even, you know, if we win a 25-cent referendum and we add another 15 cents, we are still going to be collecting much less than we were in 2007. So as we go out and talk to patrons, you know, that has to be a talking point. That, you know, we're running the school system with more kids and more facilities we've added on for less money and doing it very efficiently. And that's why the referendum, as we talk about this, especially the operating, is critical so that we can pay our dedicated staff members that were here tonight celebrating with our students, you know, working through that. It's critical that we look at an early childhood center. And again, Aaron provided some really great questions today that we'll respond to and provide in the work session. But, you know, it's very important that we're good judicial managers of this. And we think we've done an outstanding job of surviving and doing a lot of great things over the last year. Those that have been on the board for a little bit longer than the others, you see what we've done over the years. So as we get into that discussion on work session, you see the impact on the taxpayer. Remember what they were paying in '06, you know, and what they're going to be paying now when we move forward with that whole discussion. We have a lot of work to do on the referendum and the details of that, but Tom's done an excellent job keeping us afloat, and that was just a good verbal summary, but we'll give you a paper copy of that. So we'll do that ahead of the board meeting so you can really delve in there for those that like to look at Excel spreadsheets like Tom and I do. And, you know, I sleep with one under my pillows most nights, so. It's kind of what we're all about. So we'll give you a lot more information. Rick?
Couple of questions, Dr. Kaiser. Are we flexible on the 15 cents? Are we still in discussion for more than that for the referendum, or?
I think that really comes down to what you guys as communities and gals think the community would hold, and what thing we get approved, because, you know, the bottom line is we got to get people to say yes.
So at 15 cents, what does that raise us?
$673 and change. Is that right? 70. So, yeah.
Well, I mean,
607.
in total, millions.
673,000 and change on an annual basis. And what that will do for us, it'll provide a salary-based increase for our certified staff of $1,500, and then also $750 for our classified staff. And there are some other things. We also believe with those resources, we can hire 2 full-time Beech Grove police officers, be on our campuses 12 months out of the year. And again, we've shared a little bit of that with you, and we'll fine-tune that. The other thing to keep in mind, the governor has proposed, and it will be approved by the House and the Senate, an additional almost $1,000 that we think will come to our teaching staff by reshuffling how we pay into the pension fund. They're going to reduce that about 2%. And we'll provide, I can send you that updated information. I shared it with you before, but we talked about it very briefly, so.
Is that $1,000 for every teacher in Indiana, or is it changed by formula?
It's going to vary based on the school system.
Okay.
You know, for us, based on our early calculations, it's going to be from that 850 to 1,000. And again, we want to go back and fine tune those numbers, but we're confident that's going to be part, that'll be approved by both the House and the Senate sometime during this session. So, but to answer your question, yeah, Jane will go through the timeline a little bit later in the work session, and we do have time to adjust that. And the important thing is we have time to adjust what kind of construction we want to do and things like that. But I think we also have to be sensitive to what we think the community will accept. And it's really gonna come to a lot of you guys getting out, because you know more people than anybody. Because what's in the question is critical, but it's that whole second piece of that family and friends communication. We did a great job in 15, we got 74% to say yes on both questions.
That was
So-
on the spring election.
Yes.
Yes.
What do we see TIF removing from our budget each year?
Okay, the impact of TIF will not come until 2028. I've got that data, okay? When that happens, I think I provided a study, Aaron, I think I just gave it to you, but we've got a study that Bill Sheldrake did for us that lays that out for us. That's gonna bring over $300,000 back to us once that TIF district, that period of time.
I
And,
want to think that was, I'm sorry, I think I have 2024 in the brain, but why do I think that?
2024 is when our debt drops
Debt
off,
drops
and you'll see that.
Well,
Uh,
it's
Part of that
2028 is when
The bonds
it's
are.
more
the
when
The
bonds-
TIF
when the
expires.
30-year period of the TIF district expires.
That's it.
At
Okay.
that point, the property values reset.
And that money comes back to us.
Right, but there is an opportunity if local government chooses so, that we could, if they run through a pass-through, vote, and what that does is it allows current TIF districts to, allow that money to go through the local, taxing districts. So the police, the fire, the school, et cetera, would receive funds back. And the fact that they'll have their bonds paid off, I believe in 2021, depending on how they use their account balance. So we could have
Contacted the city and the sewer, because it's a big deal. So most pools you've been in lately, maybe, I don't know if anybody visits, but like the Avon YMCA, they just don't put those drop ceilings in anymore. This is something people don't, it's not necessary. So the paint, you're right, is very special, water resistant, so.
Yeah, and plus, there's a lot of, there's a lot of work that's going into removing the rust, the structure, it's just,
It's
it is a
local
bad
and
environment with the chlorine, so.
it's all right.
Are there any cracks that need to be repaired in the pool while it's drained?
We'll have to assess that when we get it out, but
Didn't know if that was a glaring issue. No?
it hasn't been yet, but
No, not since we had state law change where we changed out the grid at the bottom. That used to be a different device, and even at that point, we only went down with divers. We didn't drain the pool there. So we had underwater workers do that. So it'll be interesting, though, to get the water out,
Yeah.
so we can do a thorough cleaning and some good stuff.
Was it about 200,000 gallons maybe?
I have
Maybe.
no
Yeah.
idea. I
Maybe.
wouldn't even want to guess.
yeah.
It's not that, yeah.
It takes all week to drain.
I learned something about sewers this week, and that's that the older houses that have the sump pump drains, that if 8 houses are dumping into the sewer drains, it takes up 4 inches of sewer space. So some of the issues that we have in our old city of Beech Grove is that the houses that are continuing to dump into the sewer sanitation system are contributing to part of the problem of the,
And some of us that had to replace that sewer line in the front yard
Yeah.
still have issues with the backup. So I'm gonna maybe talk to my next mayor about that situation. Cause it was expensive.
Yeah.
And whether it's a school or a business or a house, it was $5,000 to dig up my front yard, so, yeah.
So anyway, thank you. Thank you for the pool update, operations update. Quotes, bids, donations, and purchases. Need a motion to approve the donations as presented, and I think there was just one donation.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll motion to
Anybody?
approve.
Thank you, Aaron. A second?
Second.
Rob, thank you. Any discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. And a motion to approve the fundraisers, I think there were 2. Motion to approve the fundraisers.
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you, Aaron. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
I was gonna ask if I could have the code to order something, but I didn't know what teacher to ask for that, so.
Anyway, on one of those,
You're talking about softball? or something?
probably, the
Okay, we'll just
apparel
stay on.
maybe? I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, thank you.
She sent them all out to
Yeah.
each of those schools today.
Oh, great, okay, thank you. Okay, that was the only discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed? No? Motion carried. And we need a motion to approve an overnight field trip.
I'll make the motion to approve the softball overnight field trip.
Thank you, Rick. Second?
I'll
Second.
second
I think Aaron was first, but,
that. Sorry.
Any
It's not a
discussion?
race.
Need a buzzer.
any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
And-
Motion passed.
And April, back to the donation request, or motion to approve that, we just want to, as a board, we want to thank all these, people that do support the school. I mean, this was a generous donation by Delta Theta Tau sorority, so, I don't know what their, connection is, why they did it, but I'm sure they have a good reason.
Yeah, they actually do the craft fair. In the
They
fall,
do.
that's the organization, and then they
Right.
turn around and give back a certain percentage of the entire gate.
Very nice.
Because they appreciate our facilities.
Throughout the year, they donate.
Yeah, they do.
Great.
They do backpacks, they do a number of good things. So that's a philanthropic organization, and they're very, very good for us.
Well, and I know we have donations, not this month, but for the robotics team, and that helps out a lot too, that's great.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure I should already know this, thank you notes go out on those donations by anyone specific, or just the group that gets it?
The group that gets it will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I know that will be
And
handled.
I work,
Athletics is great.
I work personally with the Delta Theta Tau group.
Excellent, thank you.
Any policy and guideline considerations? Committee and community reports, I heard, Aaron has some, upcoming visits
Oh, well,
at C9.
Thursday is the C9 taste and tour, and then apparently there's several new board members, which I'm one of them, and we will have a board training, but it should be very interesting to learn about all that.
And I'll see you there.
But-
I'll see you there too, because I'm.
Oh, you're gonna be
Yeah.
there? Great. And,
Tom's our official, he lives real close, he always goes to that and enjoys it.
It's good food.
And good food, yes.
That's funny.
And how many years did you help out with that,
A
Sino?
long time, I don't know.
I've been you
lost
and Jim forever.
Yeah.
I did it for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years in the beginning, and then
Wow.
got off for a while, and then now I've been back for probably another 7 or 8 years, so.
No, I'm sure they appreciated your support,
No.
so,
It's a great place to support, so.
great.
How's that possible when you're only 25?
I know, I was thinking, it's not really, the math isn't there. He said, how is that possible when you're so young?
Well, thank you, Rick. Thank you. I needed that.
Success stories, the best time, I think, all the principals, just the list after list after list after list of all the accomplishments and awards and gold medals and just amazing accomplishments, and I just wanted to reach out and say thank you as well, because our sports teams, our music teams, our DECA, the cheerleaders, I mean, just everybody had really great seasons this past year, and it's just been really great to see our kids do so well.
And it's nice to see, a big thank you to all of our stakeholders, our students, our parents, our staff, our entire community for the support that they give to all of these events. And I think, of course, a lot of us at our own heart, you know, the support for our boys' basketball team this year was just exceptional, and it was done for a reason, and I don't know, I just get cold chills when I think about it, but we need to thank our entire community, everybody, you know, from the littlest ones to the biggest ones, just for their continued support.
And really
I mean,
great attendance for going so far away, too, I thought.
I mean, amazing, and, you know, our young people are our future, so we don't wanna ever give up on them, and that's just a great feeling, and it's a great feeling to look around and see all just the support, the positive support, and we don't worry about anything but that positive support, so,
Awesome.
thank you
Any
to
others?
everybody.
It's a great day to be a Hornet.
It is.
Great week, what
Yeah.
an unbelievable week.
Yeah.
When I say congratulations to the Jubilaires, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah. Mhm.
Or is it fall choir?
Jubilaires
No, well,
and
everybody,
Lawn,
but-
there's two different groups, but, yeah, no, they're really great, especially the junior high kids. Who's junior high? Did- Oh, okay.
It's Mary today.
It's Mary. I forgot. I was like, where'd he go? He wasn't here. Yeah, but, yeah, that's a really great accomplishment.
Robotics, Jubilaires, basketball, I mean, it's just, you know,
These little
middle
kids,
school,
their
wrestling.
pictures at Lucas Oil Stadium, that was
Yeah.
just really great.
Well, I also we had a great turnout from what I was told and when I saw pictures of our teachers going down to the State House.
Mm.
You know, despite, you know, all the things that are going on, our teachers throughout the state are really pushing our legislators to put some money. I mean, Governor Holcomb has done a nice step with the pension reduction and giving that, let schools take that back. And our commitment is to put that right back in the, you know, for our teachers on the salary schedule when we come to the fall. But just a great turnout. If you didn't see it, Chalk Beat, actually Kathy Keller and Mr. Lawrence and a bunch of others, I don't remember all the names, but they were all there in the balcony. If you haven't been down to the State House, it's just neat to go there. I think it was neater, Gina, you were there, I know. I think it was neater that was inside than having to be outside. So just a huge turnout from teachers throughout the state of Indiana. They came in busloads. And Gina, you want to make any comments about that? You were there.
Teresa Meredith tweeted out on my Twitter that there were 2,000
Yeah.
teachers, community members, administrators, which was great,
Yeah.
obviously. A couple of the representatives came as well.
And it's a united effort. I mean, I get an email every day from one of the 5 different associations I'm involved in, urban schools, everything else, constantly. Tom and I meet with legislators. I've met with 5 different legislators talking about complexity index and these things. I mean, you know, when your district where your AVs drop from 521 million down to in the 400s, and you know the amount of money the state is putting into this. This is my 38th year. I remember when school districts were getting 5 and 6% new money. You know, and in most cases, the majority of that was going into teacher salaries. I mean, I started at $12,000 a year at Kokomo Hayworth way back when in 1980. And during that period of time when I was in the classroom, it was always 5% new money. And we'll be lucky as school districts to get 2%. It's not even hitting the standard of living increases. And it's just it's a very tough time. Now there's a lot of new educators coming out and going to the field, but it's challenging. I know it's only teachers only work 184 days, but it's tough to get a part-time job to kind of supplement, you know, the way you used to be able to do that. So we get compliments to our staff. There's some great leadership and great turnout. And I was downtown. I went to the robotics during that period of time, and downtown was just a buzz on Saturday. So
I think with all the comments that have been said, I think it makes us all stop and think that we do make every day count. I mean, and that's so important to do, but just from the things that are said, the things that are done in our community, we do make each day count.
I know we're not supposed to discuss things in the executive session, but I think it is important for everyone to know that every school board meeting that we've had since the beginning of the school year has had something to do with teachers' salaries and how we can increase it. I think it's important for people to know that we discuss it every single school board meeting.
Every week.
And I also want to add, Rick, that's why it's important we look at a referendum on facilities. Families shop facilities. They do. You know, and they want to go to a school that has nice outside facilities, inside facilities. They look at that. They look at the things that are going on. And we want to turn the tide. I'd love to say, well, we don't take transfer students. We just have people that live in Beech Grove. And, you know, there's a lot of exciting things taking place in Beech Grove right now. And as we look at the referendum, that's a key magnet to bring people in as we talk about our priorities and what we want to do. So some good discussion here the next couple meetings.
Awesome.
I make a
May I
motion,
have-
we adjourn.
Good man.
I'll second that.
Aaron, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Meeting adjourned at 8:15.